Oh, good morning, Fortnite World. George Bushcamp Jr. here, coming at you another beautiful morning, Monday morning, February the 24th, I think it is. I don't fucking know. I don't have my phone near me, so. Yeah, probably the 24th. I don't know. But it's Monday. Monday morning. All righty then. First up, as always, shout out to our striking CEOs here in upstate New York. 100% fully behind you guys. Everything you're doing, give that dumb bitch governor hell. Quick little update. Last thing I have heard on this one is apparently Governor Kamala Harris, I mean Kathy Hochul. Keep mixing those two up for some reason, probably because they both suck. But has declared that the corrections officer striking are AWOL. Boy, so apparently that's how she wants to start off mediations that are going on today. So I wish the CEOs all the luck in the world. But that's all the time we're going to spend on that today. We have got to get back to some more fun stuff here. Oh, yeah. So, as long-time listeners know, I've been watching the new Spider-Man animated show on Disney Plus. Oh, man, it is a roller coaster of good storytelling with cringe characters. Seriously, like, I mean, I think the last episode I reviewed for y'all. I mean, maybe the fourth or fifth episode, something like that. All right, and I remember. I remember the next one, so we'll probably just go over briefly the whole thing. There are spoilers ahead. I will encourage you, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's worth it. Even if you're like 40, like me, 40-year-old old dude, you know, like it's okay. Just it's the story is good, but the characters are cringe. We'll get into why here in a second. All right. So everybody who doesn't care about spoilers is gone, and let's talk about the show. All right, okay. Now, as I previously mentioned, we'll gloss over this. The first episode, we get Peter's origin here, which we never got in the MCU, mind you. So, I mean, that's kind of interesting. We didn't really need it. We don't need it for Spider-Man, but was a weird take on it. So, first like 5 minutes of the show, a portal opens, a symbiote jumps out, and the symbiote is chased by Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange chases the motherfucker down, and when he brings the symbiote back from the portal, a spider like falls out of the portal, falls on Peter, bites him. Bam, he's Spider-Man now. Okay. Over the course of the next couple episodes, there's some foundation built up. He meets Harry, who, oh my God, is Gen? I don't know. Is this what Gen Z is? I don't know Gen Z. I don't know teenagers. The little bit that I deal with teenagers, I usually think they kind of suck, but yeah, whatever. Not my cup of tea. That's why I don't have kids. You know. But all right. So yeah, I guess he's supposed to be like a social media pretty boy. Which I mean, I saw the pictures of him beforehand, and he looks like a trans person. I don't know. Whatever the hell you call them nowadays. But all right. So Harry's there. Episode 2 ends with oh yeah, and Norman Osborn recruits Peter to mentor him. episode 2 ends. Norman tells Peter, "Hey, by the way, I know you're Spider-Man, so you know, let's get this out in the open." All right, so that's about up. That's probably about where we were on this. All right. Now, here's the thing. So we'll just gloss over the plot a little bit here. This is what I'm talking about in good storytelling. Okay, because it kind of gets dumb for a couple of episodes, and that's why I was like, oh my god, it's a hate watch. Like, we go through like all these different suits that Spider-Man is gonna try wearing, and they all look terrible. They're all really dumb, and it's just making Norman Osborn look really, really dumb. Okay, that's gonna be a theme, by the way. So, and then yeah. So they finally settle on like this white and blue suit, you know. And now in the major storyline here, Norman is like the Sokovia Accords are still going on. They're a thing in this. So, and Spider Man's not, obviously he's supposed to either register with the government or, like, well, I guess get arrested for existing or having superpowers. I don't know. But, so, like, Norman kind of, they show it like he's got, like, a different name. So he's protecting Peter, but he registers him with Thaddeus Ross. Okay? Now, it turns out, like, Norman's real objective here is to get at Dr. Otto Octavius, who is now shown, and he's shown in his lab. He is selling gamma-powered weapons to criminals. All right, he ain't got his arms yet, and I mean, Doctor Octopus is interesting character overall because I've seen so many different versions of him that I don't even think I have like in a version that I think is the official version. Like there's little things that he has to be. He's got to be insecure about himself and like think that he doesn't have the respect he deserves, which they hit that here. Okay, but then like again, he's kind of an idiot, you know? So Norman uses Spider-Man to track down Otto via the Scorpion. Okay, because in the meantime, there's a B story going on with Lonnie Lincoln, whom fans of the comics know is going to become Tombstone. Basically, he gets mixed up with a gang, and their gang is rival with the Scorpions, led by Matt Gargan. And Matt Gargan went out and bought some gamma-powered weapons from Otto Octavius. Okay, now we all know what we're talking about is his prehensile tail. Straight up, the Scorpion is. I liked his design, by the way. I liked how the Scorpion's design was like. It looked like something that would translate to live action very easily. So I like that. All right. So Spider Man, he gets one on one with the Scorpion. All right. And he's like got him on the upper hand, but at the end, Scorpion like thrashes him. You know, he barely survives, and Osborn's got to send in this thing that looks peculiarly like a goblin glider to pick up Spider-Man's bloody corpse. Well, not his corpse, but his bloody body, and bring him back to Oscorp. All right, and the next morning, like he wakes up in the Oscorp like hospital, and he's all patched up. And Osborn's like, "Don't worry, your secret identity's still safe. Nobody knows who you are. They just patched you up." Like, bam, you know. And Peter is like genuinely like freaked the fuck out because straight up, he's got superpowers and he just got his ass whooped by this dude. And Norman like goes on this rant like that's actually pretty good. He's all like, "Hey, look, you're holding back, and your enemies are not going to like, you know." Bam, you gotta stop pulling them punches, Peter. You gotta bam, beat them into the ground. And then he's like, with great power comes great respect. And I was like, oh, ooh, you know, I like that. Because mind you, again, like Uncle Ben's dead before he gets his powers in this universe too. So I like that because that's like something Norman Osborn would say. That's close to what Uncle Ben said. But yeah, all right, great. Which, by the way, I'm cool with. I do not need to see Uncle Ben get shot again. Motherfucker, like, if I have to watch Uncle Ben get shot one more time, I'm gonna shoot somebody. Straight up. But anyways, all right. So, but yeah, all right. So Spider-Man's all freaked the fuck out. He's got all injured. He's got rest. You know, and in the meantime, Norman hunts down Otto Octavius. We get a little Iron Man cameo. He gets him. It's a weird sequence. Again, like Otto, he comes off as like this genius, but he's dumb. I don't know, or at least what I would call dumb. See, well, again, we'll save that for the end, what we're going in for. But, I mean, he does this little dance around the office trying to escape, but he doesn't want to run. Probably because I guess that would be undignified or some shit. So he just, like, walks and has his little toys do stuff. And, he definitely killed, like, a lot of agents on his way out. And then Iron Man is all, like, just shows up and he points his little blasters at him, and he's like, "All right, I guess I better give up." Pretty fucked up. I don't know or care. I don't know. All right, so Ardo is in prison now, but the Scorpion's still at large. And over on the B story, Lonnie's gang is like, "Hey, we saw that shit the Scorpions got. We gotta get some tech of our own." And again, we get a little cameo from the Chameleon. He sells him the info. Tells him where Octavius' lab is. All right, so the gangs hit the lab, but the police are already kind of taking it out. So they decide to fight the police. All right, and then of course the Scorpions show up. Like, yo, we kind of heard this shit was going down, so figured we'd come get some free tech too. And yeah, Spider Man shows up, and it's kind of a three-way battle for a little while. Lonnie gets in the back of a bus looking for a laser cannon or some shit, and some gas gets leaked out, and boom. It seems to be the first origin of Tombstone. I say first because his appearance does not change. But A couple minutes later, it's the fight with the Spider-Man is fighting the Scorpion again, and bam! Like Scorpion hits him with his tail, and like his tail breaks on Lonnie's chest, and they're all like, "Oh, shit." So the two of them team up on Scorpion, take him down pretty good. All right, but then Spider Man's going all crazy because he's thinking about the shit Norman told him about not pulling his punches and shit like that. And so he's like pretty close to killing the Scorpion. And that's when like Lonnie stops him, you know? All right. And he's all like, hey, you don't want to be a killer. The fuck you doing? It's not you. All right. So Spider Man stops. He doesn't kill him. Pretty good for him. Um, Scorpion's all webbed up, sent to prison, loses his tail tech. All right. And, okay. So then the last episode. Oh, right. All right. So then there's the last episode. Or maybe it might have been. Yeah, this was the last episode. Okay. Norman reveals to Peter and the other four or three interns that he'd been working with at Oscorp what they had actually been working on. Okay? It's a portal. All right? A gateway into space. And he's all like, yeah, bro, we're going to go into space. And I was all like, all right, this is kind of out of left field. Well, all right, so Doctor Strange appears again. And he's all like, Norman Osborn, you're like, motherfucker. All right, you need to not do this experiment. And like, friggin', Osborn, of course, is all like, what? What the fuck you mean? I'm doing science over here, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Magic man. But anyways, then Peter's all like, hey, I know you. You're the motherfucker that like showed up that day chasing that thing. And you were chasing a thing through the school. And Norman was all like, you blew up that school. Trying to make Doctor Strange look like the bad guy. And Doctor Strange is all like, I don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. I ain't never blown up no damn school. So Norman, like, ignores him and opens up the portal. And lo and behold, the symbiote jumps out. Bam. All right. Oops. So Spider-Man and Doctor Strange chase down the symbiote. And in the meantime, somehow, I wasn't really paying attention, but somehow, Doctor Strange goes back in time and like ends up at Midtown High chasing the symbiote. And we see the sequence from the first episode again. Time travel shenanigans. Well, all right, all right. And of course, he goes through and, oh, mind you, it was also revealed that when Peter like got injured from the hospital, that Norman was actually like, hey, take this blood sample and replicate Spider-Man's powers. Okay? And that's why there's a spider in Oscorp. That that's where the spider comes from that falls through the portal that bites Peter. All right. So there's that at that point. Seriously, that reminded me so much of like, not to get on a side rant here, but it reminded me so much of that episode of Futurama where Fry goes back in time and becomes his own grandma or grandpa. You know, like what? Like I don't know how this works. How does this loop work? Because if he ain't like the spider was created from Peter's blood, but it didn't create it until it bit him. I don't know. All right. So, but anyways, we're almost done with the plot here, folks. So, all right. Um. Oh boy. So at this point, after the portals closed back up, and friggin' yeah, the portal closed back up, and like the symbiote was thrown back through there. So we've got the whole like, let's wrap it up. Okay, so Tombstone is seen talking to his mom on the phone about doing his GED and getting back into school. After running with the gang all season, and like, it seems like he's gonna be good. But then he gets into the car with all the gangbangers, and he's like, "All right, let's make this gang the best in the city." Wonderful. Yeah. All right, so he's definitely not done being evil, but it's gonna be a slow burn with Tombstone apparently. Okay then. Also, Norman Osborn returns to the scene of the portal to find there was just a little bit of venom goo left behind. Ooh. Duh, 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 duh. Spider-Man and Harry talk. They speak about whatever, like, I used to, my dad wants to help, but, if you want him to. And he's like, I gotta do this on my own for a bit. So, all right. That's apparently what we're doing in season 2. I believe that wraps up about everything important to the plot. Now, let's point out a few things here. Okay. There's a couple of real. The first one, like I said, this is a hate watchable show. Really is. And here is like where they made that abundantly clear. It was like episode 5, I think, maybe 4, the one with the unicorn. Okay, so there's like these Russians running around, and like one of them is this woman. Okay, and she's like a female super bodybuilder. All right, and there's like two men. That like one of them's a bodybuilder, the other one's smaller. One of them was revealed later to be the chameleon, I believe. And then the other guy, I don't know. I don't think he'd come back, but he'll probably be returning in a later season. Wouldn't surprise me. But the woman ends up, surprise, surprise, the woman ends up being the main event here. So, like, her two compadres get to prison, and she meets Otto. That's how he's introduced. And he sells her a helmet with a horn on it that shoots lasers. Okay, pretty cool. So when she busts her two companions out of jail, they're talking afterwards, and she's like, or they're like, "Wow, you're like superhero," and she's like, "Yes, like, or what they say, like, well, they said something like, "You're like a rhino," and she's like, "Oh no, no, I am a unicorn." Okay, now I believe this was definitely done on purpose to bait people into complaining online about them gender swapping the rhino. But yes, as you can find online, the unicorn is legit. It's her own character. I mean, this is why, like, the whole from the comics source. I, as much as anybody else, don't like it when they deviate stupid far from the source material. But at the same time, the source material has gone off the rails so much that that's not even really worth bitching about anymore. But yeah, I mean, this is like, you guys deserve that bitching. You asked for that bitching. You know, that's asking for hate comments, which I do that too. So, all right. And then, like I said, it seemed like every adult in the show is like an adult man child to some degree. Like Otto Octavius's assistant is asking him if he ate today and had his nap or some shit. And Norman, um, like the montage of him going through all the suits that he wanted Spider-Man to try, and they were all dumb. And then, like, I don't know, it was all. It makes me wonder: is this what Gen Z thinks of millennials? And the Gen Z characters to me were just like, wow, like, okay, like Nico and Harry trying to figure out a VCR. It's really not that complicated, people. Okay, VCR. Well, it's not like you need to set the time. If you had to set the time, that is a skill. That's about it. Other than that, it's put it in and press play. And if that doesn't work, press rewind and then press play when it stops clicking. You know, it's not that bad. All right, people. Anyways, so overall, like I said, though, this is it's these cringe characters, but it is good storytelling. All right, and I feel like it will get better with time. I like that they had the Scorpion defeat Spider-Man in an episode before, like, you know, yeah, getting defeated in the finale. I mean, it's kind of they used to do that where the bad guy always shows up and he beats him the first time, and then he comes back prepared. But no, this was more like, no, he's still like pretty fucking terrified of him, but he overcomes the fear. You know, it's not like Batman where he's just like, oh, I figured out what your weakness was because, well, you were beating the shit out of me. But oh well. I definitely think the show is going to get better with time. It's going to be like, maybe it'll be like Clone Wars. Well, hopefully it's better than Clone Wars, because Clone Wars is like first 4 seasons is so far freaking unwatchable, but 5 and 6 and 7 are amazing. So, ugh. But anyways, point taken. I feel like this will grow on us. And of course, with the Watchers cameo in the finale, and the fact that they keep the character designs like really easy to translate to live action. I, I'd be mad if I didn't watch this, and then like I don't know, there's a bunch of shit to this in Secret Wars. So I am kind of glad that I watched it. I won't be surprised if this is like if this matters in Secret Wars. All right. Well, that is probably about it for the Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood hate watch. Wow, holy shit. I think I will just. Whoa, I'm probably gonna die. What here, anyways? It looks like. Yeah, oh, motherfucker. Alrighty then. Well, that was shitty, but yeah, that's what happens when somebody takes an electric baseball bat to your face. Alrighty, folks. I will talk to you tomorrow.